Okay, the boxing world, welcome to Strictly Boxing with Derek Poppy Rolon. Oh man, had some big fights down in Atlantic City this weekend. Good fights, man. Turned out to be real good. Good crowd. Atlantic City trying to bounce back. I think it was a good experience for our team. We came up short. My man Dangerous Danny Gonzalez is now 5-1 with 5 knockouts instead of 6-0. Had our first loss. It's all right. That's what happens, he said. He said that's what happens when you dare to be great. When you dare to be great, that's what happens. So my show today, we're going to talk about benefits of experiencing a loss. Is it beneficial? Is it if you look at these guys that's undefeated, they take these bum fights over and over again, keep winning, and then they really don't get these experiences. When I look back at our fight this weekend, excuse me, Danny is now 5-1, and his opponent, strong opponent, take nothing away from him, Sidney McCall, he's 10-8 now. So he was 9-8, but that's a lot of experience for a guy with only 5 fights. But like I said, we dared to be great. Experience matters, though. Experience matters. Sidney McCall had experienced being hurt before. He experienced a loss before. He experienced some things, experience made him rise to the occasion and know what to do in the situations that he got in. That was very good. Danny made no excuses. I got to give him a big salute out to Danny. No excuses. He accepts the loss, as a learning situation. He said, I learned a lot, Now you see what I mean about keeping your hands up. You see what I mean about moving your head. See what I mean? You can't just go in there trying to knock everybody out. But that's what happens to a lot of fighters, man. You get them bumble fighters, you get other fighters, you knocking them out. You think you're going to knock everybody out. Everybody you can't knock out. Everybody you can't knock out. I said that. I said it 1,000,000 times. Sometimes you're going to reach somebody that you can't knock out. I could come up with a few things that I could say went wrong, and I could try to make excuses for the situation. They said the weight was going to be at 138 pounds, and the guy comes in at 142 or 43 or something like that. And we takes the fight. Those 4 pounds. I could come up with an excuse for that. We had to suffer, get down, and make sure we make the 138 that the contract said. But I'm not going to say that. Danny not saying it was an excuse. Danny saying he ain't making no excuses. Salute to him. Salute to him. He got the heart of a champion. Said if he had to do it all over again, he'd take the fight again. He said he know he could beat him. I could blame it on, the locker room. Too many people in the locker room, too many conversations, I tried to share with them, like when I was fighting, my manager kept me secluded during the fight. Prior to the fight, nobody got to me. Nobody gets to see to me. I'm focused on all my fights. I'm focused. Nobody coming to take pictures, coming to take that. And, he's a known guy, very loved guy by the community. Everybody want to come see him. Everybody want to say what's up. Everybody want to come in the locker room, everybody. So these situations that we'll never do again. You got to stay focused. This messes up your focus. You got too many people around, just stuff. We're not here to take pictures. See me after the fight. I told him the story with my manager. My mother couldn't call him. My mother couldn't even come see me. Mom, you got to wait till after the fight. And that's the way that I knew it should be. But we got away from it. Got cell phones now and different situations. So I guess the next fights I'm gonna take his cell phone. So people can't get to him. You got to stay focused. You got to keep no nonsense on your mind. That's a very, very important thing. But I'm not going to make no excuses. Stay focused on what it is. Can't be too friendly. Everybody want to hey, love you, hey, everybody want to come around. That's just draining. It's just draining before the fight. See him after the fight. That's how we're going to handle that from now on. just such a salute to this kid, man, Danny Gonzalez, man. He just, you know, he's just a great kid, man. He says if he could do it, or if he had the chance to do it all over again, he'll do the same thing. He'll take the fight. You know, he said, I can beat him. I know I could beat him. And so my job to see that he gets the proper upbringing and a couple extra fights and move back on. Who knows? Maybe we'll take him again and then you try to avenge that loss. That'd be good. Very good. But the experience matters. When I look back at the fight, the only thing that this guy had on him was he had experience being hurt. So when he got hurt, he knew what to do. But when he hurt Danny, who had never been hurt, didn't know what to do. So is it the benefits that you learn as you take these fights up? It's something I think these guys that's turning pro, that's raising their fighters, should really take heed to. Like, you can't keep giving your fighter tomato cans. You just can't do it, man. They're not going to get better. They're not going to get these experiences. So when you get in these big fights, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to take a knee. You don't know how to hold. You don't know how to get your head right because you ain't never experienced it. Well, that's the only thing I saw that he had on us. When we heard him, had an opportunity to get him out of there, he was experienced with it. So he knew how to move. He knew how to hold. He knew how to get out the way. And then when he heard us, it was uncharted waters. So experience matters. So let's talk about this matter. Is it better to be undefeated and not experience these things, keep winning, or is it better to have the experience so when you get older, when you get up the ladder in the sport? Because when you really look at it, all of the great champions who's achieved greatness, except Floyd Mayweather, experienced the loss. Some of the best fighters in the world, they experience the loss a lot of times before they become champion. So is that loss necessary? I mean, do you wait until you get so many cherry pick fights that now you're going to fight on the top level, but you really ain't prepared for it because you ain't really fighting nobody with no caliber of opponent? I don't know, man. What do you guys think, man? Let me hear what you think. Do you think the experience, that the loss is like, it could break you? I mean, you get stopped, you get knocked out. Maybe that loss affects you to where you lose your confidence. Maybe that's a negative part about it. Maybe a loss will make you work harder. Maybe a loss will teach you that, I got to get my stuff together. But if you dare to be great, you want to take on somebody that's a challenge. Kind of think about it like this. If you lose to a fighter that you was an underdog, or if you wasn't supposed to win, but you got in there and you represented and you did well, but you wasn't expected to win, is that better than getting in there with some tomato can and knocking them out like you're supposed to win? Which one is a more honorable situation? So the title of this right here is Dare to Be Great. If you dare to be great, you want the big fights. You want the challenging fights. I understand, you want to get used to the pros, you want to build it up, but everybody I see turning pro, when I look at their box recs, everybody they fought the first 10 fights was tomato cans. So really on your 11th fight, if you decide to fight somebody up there, you really that's your debut. I mean, you fighting somebody where they cherry picking you real cool. Now, I ain't saying all your fights got to be tough fights. And all your fights ain't got to be challenging. But Danny helped me understand this right here. He said, when you dare to be great, when you dare to be great in life, this is what happens. And he wants to be great. He said he's going to bounce back from this. He said we're going to focus on nobody talking to us before the fight. We're going to focus on maybe warming up a little longer, because when you got caught in the first round and you kind of got hurt, and when you cold, you don't get a really good warm up. Getting hurt is easier than if you already got your adrenaline flowing and stuff. So maybe we got to warm him up a little more, because I know he was in good shape. But Dangerous Danny Gonzalez, I salute you, brother. I salute you, man. Took your loss like a champ. One of them represented well. Big following down in Atlantic City this weekend. It was an awesome fight. Everybody came out. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people came out, man. And we're going to bounce right back from this here. We're going to get us a couple of fights. Man, after a couple of fights, man, to be quite honest with you, I'd like to avenge that loss. We'll talk about that with the matchmaker, see if we could get that bout back. Try to avenge that loss. Got to work on a few things, but you wouldn't have knew you had to work on these things if you hadn't went up there and raised the quality of the opponent, man. This is Derek Poppy Rolling, man. That's Strictly Boxing, man. I want you to like the video if you can. If you haven't subscribed to it, man, I appreciate it if you subscribe. But listen, man, when you dare to be great, man, you don't just cherry pick. Sooner or later, man, let me fight somebody that can fight. I want to know where I stand in the sport of boxing, and that's where Danny is. And I salute him. I salute him because went in there, he gave it his all, he represented well, and then he said, I just got caught. And he got hurt, didn't know what to do. So, this is Derek Poppy Roll-On. Let me know what you think, man. Put it down and tell me what you think about it. Do you just keep wanting to fight to Medicare's, build your record up where you gotta be 20-0 with 20 knockouts before you fight somebody, or you want to seek some challenges on the way? Some you gonna win, some you might not win, some might get a draw. What do you do? Like, you think about Tank and his fight right here. He got a draw. I think he should have lost. But would the loss or the draw make him wanna? I need to step up my game. I'm slipping on some things, or I got to get back focused. I got to get back on my grind. I got to straighten up my life. I got to get some of this stuff. He talked about that. This is real talk. You can't get in a situation thinking that you're gonna knock everybody out, because you're not. And everybody ain't getting knocked out. Drop a comment, man. Let me hear what you got to say. I appreciate it, man. This is Derek Poppy Rolling. That's Strictly Boxing. Peace.